Today on Chasin' the Sun, Justin and fellow guide Matt Smith use a different approach to catching redfish.
Most of the time when we're looking for redfish feeding on the surface, we're looking for birds. Well, this is different because there's no bait around. This is all crabs.
Justin, one of the luckiest guys I know.
Oh, there he is. You see that bite?
Justin's kind of lucky, but really, he's just done it so much more than everybody else that he usually gets it right.
So I'm super excited about this redfish right here because I'm pretty sure it's a Chasin' the Sun record.
Then it's off to the races for Travis and Justin.
We have the only indoor electric go-kart track in Northwest Florida. It's like being NASCAR, but indoors.
Chasin' the Sun is brought to you by Dulce Vida Tequila, Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler, Florida Fishing Products, Fish Better, Fish Florida, and by Z-Man Fishing Products, the science and art of fishing.
Matt, most of our viewing audience sees me all the time. They know me. This is Matt Smith right here, one of my best friends. We've been fishing together since we were like knee-high.
Long time.
And
Pretty
finally,
cool.
we get to come play together today.
Yeah, pretty cool to get to spend the afternoon right here and just over our shoulders, backdrop of the bay. And it was better part of 20 years ago. We put a little catch together for a photo op for a book that became pretty famous
Full
here
box.
locally, a full box, Winston Chester, and pretty cool. Be right here and doing it all again, and it just never gets old.
I fish with a lot of different people on the show. I fish with a lot of different people day in, day out on guide trips. Matt himself is a fishing guide here in Panama City Beach. He specializes, when we talk about inshore fishing, Matt's the man, okay? That's all that Matt does.
On me, he's on me. Come on.
Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's the only guide here that specifically fishes in our bay system. And because of that, he's usually pretty in tune to whatever bite's going on.
Give him an extra pop or two, see if I can get his attention. They're blasting back there.
This is a type of fishing that me and Matt have done a lot together over the years. It's always a good time. It's real laid back and calm. You know, we can do some high intensity sight fishing on the flats, real technical stuff, but this isn't. This is just a good time. It's like a race. When we see that fish come up and blow up on the surface, I mean, sometimes we're throwing elbows, just having fun with it, you know? But if you don't get your plug there quick, you're not getting the bite, and we know that. We want to catch some, so we're gonna get a little competitive, but it's always good to get an old-time, long-time friend on the boat with me and just go have fun. Opening day of red snapper season, and we're up here red fishing.
Well, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, a redfish is a lot cooler to catch than a red snapper.
Hey, when they'll come up and bite some of these soft plastics right on the surface, I'd have to agree.
Absolutely.
I just heard another one.
So the beauty of this Z-Man crab is not only that it floats, but it's the exact size of a lot of the crabs that these redfish are eating.
This is a pretty extraordinary fish here. God, dude. Look at that. So we do a ton of topwater fishing. A lot of it is sight fishing, and this is just a little different twist on sight fishing because we're not looking for the fish actually swimming in the water. What we're doing is we're looking for the explosions that these redfish are making on crabs.
Right there.
Here's the important part about fishing reds in the summer. June and July are pre-spawn feed months for reds. So on the moons, when all these crabs move out, they're going to be very opportunistic and move into areas that concentrate the crab migration and feed on them. Now as these crabs float in the water, what a red will do is they'll swim up nice and easy, and then they do a last big hard ambush push, and if they get the crab, then they're going to go on down. But if they miss the crab, they're going to spin around. And this is what opportunity Justin and Matt are fishing for.
Most of the time when we're looking for redfish feeding on the surface, we're looking for birds. The birds and the redfish are both trying to feed on the same bait balls, so even if we can't see the bait, we can see the birds that have already found the bait. Well, this is different because there's no bait around. This is all crabs. These crabs are like super high protein, and when there's a lot of crabs floating on the surface, the redfish will leave bait altogether and they'll go to those crabs. We don't have birds that are going to tell us where those crabs are at, but what we do see is these giant holes in the water where the redfish come up and explode the crabs. And as soon as we hear that or see it, now we know where our plug needs to go. We have some really neat soft plastics here the Z-Man makes. It's made out of a material called Elastec, and it floats, which is unlike any soft plastic you'll find on the market. It's also really tough. What's neat, when I rig it on an unweighted hook, the bait itself actually floats on the surface, just like these crabs out here. So what I'm able to do is throw it up tide, let it drift down, and these redfish will come crash it right on the surface. And I know I've said it 1,000 times, but when you get big redfish crashing stuff up on top, that's pretty exciting.
So the beauty of this Z-Man crab is not only that it floats, but it's the exact size of a lot of the crabs that these redfish are eating. Set it down next to the real thing here and let you take a look. Pretty close. Profile, legs, everything. And that's why they get the bites. Justin, one of the luckiest guys I know. Just rather be close to him and get some of his good luck. You can never go wrong being close to Justin. So anytime Justin and I take off to get an afternoon or an opportunity to fish, pretty rare, I always keep in mind his luck, his ability to always be right where the fish are at the right time, and this afternoon was no exception.
Dang, come on. Oh, right behind us. Like big holes in. Oh, there he is. Do you see that bite? Woo-hoo.
So roughly half the time, these guys being professionals are gonna get it right. A lot of times, the ability to get it right is based on sheer luck. And that's the reason why Matt talks about luck, because, you know, Justin's kind of lucky, but really, he's just done it so much more than everybody else that he usually gets it right.
It's hard to put that in perspective until you're on the water and we're out there and you got this huge area where these fish are feeding, but we somehow seem to kind of drift right down the line of where the fish are.
My goodness. Like big holes in the bay. So Matt always says that I'm the luckiest guy he knows. As a matter of fact, he's the one that nicknamed me Clover, like, you know, when we were kids. Well, Matt also taught me that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So I think Matt's actually giving me a compliment when he says that I'm the luckiest guy he knows. Oh my goodness. This is a pretty extraordinary fish here. Golly. Look at that. All right, Matt. You can let go on this 20-pound leader, so if he takes off, just let him go, and I'll work him back up here. Now that is a redfish. Man. So I'm super excited about this redfish right here because I'm pretty sure it's a Chasin The Sun record. I think this is the biggest redfish we've caught on the show, and y'all know we've caught a ton of redfish on this show. All right, Matt, that's not a bad way to start off the afternoon.
Not at all. That fish could be hard to top.
Yeah. Well, that might be a Chasin The Sun record.
Nicely done.
That's work. You're up, Matt. Nap time for me. If you've ever spent any time in Florida late in afternoons in the summertime, you know there's one thing that's gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna rain.
Finally.
That's on!
Woo! Might knock my hat off. That's what it's all about. Look at that fish.
So what's cool about this crab hatch redfishing is it's super predictable. Well, one part of it being predictable is it's during the summertime. The next part is it's on these falling tides. The only bad thing about that is these falling tides in the summer happen late in the afternoons. If you've ever spent any time in Florida late in the afternoons in the summertime, you know there's one thing that's gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna rain. It's gonna get warm and it's gonna rain, so you better have a plan B.
Redfish feed profusely on pressure changes, be it a rise or a drop in pressure. Now these little microstorms that happen in the summer in Florida cause these feeding windows, these little bitty feeding windows where everything turns on and goes crazy. And if you want to be there for that feeding window, it's totally up to you, but I highly suggest not being there when the storm comes by.
Matt, why does that always happen? These storms start trying to kind of ease up around us, got lightning popping way back off in the distance, and now the fish are coming up all around us.
I think it all goes to being part of the never-ending quest for the perfect day. They're very few and far between.
So on a charter, you never keep your clients out in bad weather. If you can run around it, always run around it, but sometimes you're right in the middle of it, and when you're right in the middle of it, the best thing to do, hit a dock. I don't care if you know the guys or not, hit a dock, save yourself, save your friends, go stand on the porch. Worst thing that's gonna happen is you have to tell them I was getting away from the storm.
So we had to give the redfish bite a break and go run from this thunderstorm that was rolling in. But the good thing is they normally roll through really quick, so as long as you got somewhere to hide out for a minute, you can go right back to fishing. Set up to take shelter.
All right, Justin, the storm has passed.
Hey, sometimes it's worth just waiting it out. We ran, hid for a minute, found some shelter, and we just got back out here, and I bet we've already seen 15 or so redfish just explode around us.
A lot of activity.
So now, we're gonna try to get a bait on them, see if we can catch some.
Let's catch one.
Matt, if only we had Travis here to translate what the fish are thinking because of the weather, then we would know.
In 30 words or less, what would Travis have to tell us about what the fish are thinking?
Well, you see, Matt, the barometric pressure falls when these storms come, which makes their swim bladder expand, which floats them up to the surface. They float up to the surface, there happens to be a bunch of crabs up there, and they start eating them.
I like it. I like it.
And I guarantee you he has a doctor, PhD, biologist buddy that told him that, and it's probably the truth. But I just made that up.
I'll go with that.
As an angler, you're a master of observation. I don't care if you're a professional, if you're a weekender, if you're a guide, your job solely is to observe the environment and adjust appropriately to catch those fish. Always try different things.
I really thought with the water being so tannic in color that we'd want to fish something loud and obnoxious like these plugs with a cup face to pop, but I'm gonna try something a little more stealthy.
Well, my favorite thing to do is I never let everybody on the boat fish the same lure until one lure out catches the other lure. Justin can't cast far enough, so what do? Change up to a jig head with a bigger plastic. That way you're maximizing your cast, you're getting the cast the distance it needs to be, you're putting it through the strike zone or the zone in which the fish is gonna be at, and allowing an opportunity to say yes or no, this presentation's working.
Whoa, 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 right here, to your right, to your right, to your right.
And just passed me. See, just passed me, Matt?
Yeah. Finally.
Matt's on!
Woo! Might knock my hat off. We got it, we got it. That's what it's all about. Look at that fish. Wow. All right, I'm gonna take a deep breath. before I try to lift her over the side here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow.
Hey, you can travel all over the world and you're not gonna find more giant redfish in one place that'll bust a topwater plug. I mean, we're not going anywhere. We're not like working a big area.
No.
We're just sitting tight right here and getting shots on some world-class fish.
Nothing like a giant panhandle redfish.
And then right around the corner, we got the beaches right there. So when we get tired of this, we can go kick our feet up,
Life
get a
is
cold
good.
drink, sit under an umbrella.
Life is good, my friend. See if you might be able to remove that skitter walk.
Listen. Hear that drumming?
I do.
People wonder why they call him a red drum.
I do.
He is drumming away. One little hook.
One little hook there.
Oh, there we go.
There. Second
All right.
caught. Look at that big girl.
I love when the water gets dark like this. If you look at these fins, how orange they are. Reminds me of a nice pumpkin.
Panhandle pumpkin.
That's right. All right, let's get them back in the water.
Give her a minute. Let the fish kind of find its bearings, get oriented. Pull them up out of the deeper water. They take a minute. Don't let that fish float upside down, float off from your boat. Fish will generally kick and give you a little indication when it's ready. There it goes.
Beautiful.
Makes my afternoon.
Yes, give me some, man.
Boom.
Got him.
Awesome.
It's off to the races for Travis and Justin.
We have the only indoor electric go-kart track in Northwest Florida.
Like my daddy said, we're just out here to have fun.
It's okay.
There's nothing more fun than winning.
All right, if he's winning, I'm just gonna put him in the wall.
Chasin the Sun has been brought to you by Latitude Tournament Boats. Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. Pirates Cove Marina, you enjoy the Gulf, we'll take care of the rest. And by Sport Trail Trailers. Go-karts are nothing new. They've been entertaining both young and old for decades. But at Kartona, it's something else entirely. Speed, torque, and racing like the big boys. All done indoors.
We opened the beginning of June of 2018. We have the only indoor electric go-kart track in Northwest Florida. Go-karts go anywhere from 35 to 45 miles an hour. They have sound generators, so they sound like Formula One race cars. You wear a helmet, you wear a head sock. It's like being NASCAR, but indoors.
Like my daddy said, we're just out here to have fun.
It's okay.
There's nothing more fun than winning.
All right, if he's winning, I'm just gonna put him in the wall.
Electric go-karts, the benefit is instant torque. You step on the gas pedal and hold on to the steering wheel because off you're gonna go.
We'll see who's really got the traction. Maybe me, it may be him, who knows, but all I know is if he gets in front of me, I'm gonna put him in the wall. I'm gonna win no matter what, so I'll probably let him go in front just so I can put him in the wall. These things are rad once you get kind of used to it.
So round one, Travis pretty much mowed me. I think being lighter weight was actually a disadvantage because I was just sliding the whole time. I couldn't never get any traction.
Told you. These things are great. All right, so winner race one, T-Bone Holeman. Thank you very much.
So it never ceases to amaze me how we can fish in the same place year after year, year round, and always have something new to do. The crab hatch red fishing was just what it's supposed to be. Big fish, pretty predictable, something we can go out there and do every summer, and it's just something a little different that we wanted to show everybody that we have here.
Well, we left out this afternoon. It was planned to go try to catch some afternoon redfish as the tide was falling. You never quite know how that's going to work out until you're actually where the fish are and where they're feeding, because the tide doesn't always do what it's supposed to do based on the conditions. But as we planned, the fish were there, the tide was falling, and had a lot of really nice big redfish coming up feeding on crabs, and it ended up being a really well thought out afternoon.